Hey guys, I want to just really put an emphasis on us being mindful that the Lord is the third person in your conversation. And the second we put value on his presence, we will walk with more of the fear of the Lord and self-control even in our conversations. So please understand, this isn't a conversation to be religious. It's not a conversation to over spiritualize, so to speak. It's a conversation that we're having to have more of the fear of the Lord, and be mindful of him as he's so mindful of us. He's so intentional about us every single day. All right. I know that intro was a little bit of a mouthful, but that's okay because it's needed. And I'm really flowing here. I have no notes at all, but I want to be obedient to what the Lord is telling me. So with that said, let's go to Numbers chapter 12. And forgive my lighting. I am in my closet, and so the overcast is going to be fluctuating. All right. I'm reading from the NIV version. All right. Numbers 12. Miriam and Aaron began to talk against Moses because of his Cushite wife. Has the Lord spoken only through Moses? They asked. Hasn't he also spoken through us? And the Lord heard this. Now, Moses was a very humble man, more humble than anyone else on the face of the earth. Listen, I'm like Moses. I wish I had that type of confidence. But he's so, like, that's so cool that he could, write that about himself. Even John, when he says that, he's the one that the Lord loved, I love that. And I'm actually learning to be able to speak from that place of not superiority, but the place of, wow, he really does love me. He's very gracious to me. Such a good father he is. Hear this. At once, the Lord said to Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, come out of the tent of meeting, all three of you. So the three of them went out. Then the Lord came down in a pillar of cloud, and he stood at the entrance and summoned Aaron and Miriam. When the two of them stepped forward, he said, listen to my words. When there is a prophet among you, I, the Lord, reveal myself to them in visions. I speak to them in dreams. But this is not true of my servant Moses. He is faithful in all my house. With him I speak face to face, clearly, and not in riddles. He sees the form of the Lord. Why then were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? The anger of the Lord burned against them, and he left them. When the cloud lifted from above the tent, Miriam's skin was leprous. And then you can go and read the entire thing for yourself. But here's what I really want to point out to you. He was the third person in the conversation, and they didn't even know it. They weren't mindful of the Lord, and they were asking these questions with the wrong motive, because the Bible makes it very clear that they were doing this because of Moses' Ethiopian wife. But I want to talk about this cloud here. A lot of times we think that cloud is like what Elijah prayed when he was praying after killing the 400 prophets of Baal, and then he's sitting there, with his head in his face in his lap, and he's praying, and then his servant comes back and he says, I see a cloud the size of a man's hand. That's not the cloud that the Lord arrived in. It's actually, the biblical definition of that cloud is a nimbus. It's the very cloud that literally holds thunder. The cumulonimbus cloud produces thunder, lightning, hail, tornadoes, and heavy rain. It has a towering shape. It starts with a puffy cumulus cloud that grows vertically, often reaching 40,000 to 60,000 feet. If you think about this is the presence of the Lord in your life. The presence of the Lord in your life is that great. I feel the Lord on this. So I believe the Lord desires to get out of our minds this miss and this small thing, that it is actually mighty, it is actually great. He is mighty. He is great. That cloud is so big that it's quite literally able to be heard. When it produces thunder, it's heard everywhere. When it produces rain, heavy rain, the entire 40, 50, 30, whatever, 60, 70% of the region is going to get hit with that heavy rain. So we have to understand, if you house God himself, oh Lord, help us. We carry such presence like that around everywhere we go, that when we as believers come together, we can create a mighty effect as one when we're in one mind, one accord, knowing that we all house one Spirit who is great, mighty, knows, hears everything. The Lord is really wanting to disciple us in this area. And I know that it may seem very small to a lot of people. You might be thinking, oh, well, this is over spiritualizing conversations. It's not. And it's not being religious about conversations. It's literally about having intimacy with the Lord, so much so that you're mindful that you carry him and that he carries you, and that you are with him and he is with you everywhere that you go. Even when you sit down, there is no break from him. There is no departing from him. And if you truly be his, you shouldn't even want that. We should be so mindful of him as a person that we have this reverence in everything that we say, and discretion, yet at the same time yield it to him to be bold enough to confront or speak as he leads us to. But even knowing that boldness in speech is still submitted in humility and under authority. And so again, let me just go back to that question that Miriam and Aaron were asking. It seemed like it wasn't malicious. It seemed like they were genuinely just asking a question. But even certain questions that are built on the wrong foundation, or coming with the wrong foundation, or coming with the wrong spirit, because remember, there's a spirit of truth and a spirit of error, then listen, that question could actually be inviting for God to quite literally discipline you, because you're not having the fear of the Lord in regards to the very question that you're desiring to ask. I think the number one thing that we as Christians have to start asking is, Lord, am I asking this because do I really need to know if I were to ask this question? Do I really need to say what I'm feeling to be said? Like, are you leading me to say this, or is my emotions leading me to say this? Like David says, he says this, that it's like Psalm 85 or something like that. Okay, so I'm sorry, it's Psalm 137. Psalm 137, verse 6 through 8. If I do not remember you, let my tongue cling to the roof of my mouth. This is the attitude when it comes to the Lord that we should have when it comes to the Lord. If I do not remember you, let my tongue cling to the roof of my mouth. So in idle moments where we're just kind of like, there's nothing happening, or there's these empty pockets in conversations, may we just be mindful of the Lord and not loose our tongue to just say and speak and do anything, because he's always watching. He's always listening. Does that make sense? And that's why we kind of have to be very careful, because even malice can transform itself as an angel of light. And I know I might be going way too deep into this, but it's the truth. Because if malice is, I'm not trying to say it's a spirit, but it's the wrong spirit. It's not of God, and it's going to transform itself as an angel of light and cover up itself in concern, or cover up itself in the form of, I'm just asking a question. So I think it's just wise for us, number one, to consider the Lord in everything that we do, right? It's not to restrict you, because he's so free. Like, I'm telling you, when I'm learning to be so free in my Lord, I'm learning this, because I'm unlearning religion. Yet at the same time, I'm learning to have the self control that He requires of me. So I pray that this makes sense. The Lord is just really wanting us to be mindful that He is even in our conversations. And what seems small to us, we still have to steward it properly, that He may make us rulers of much. And I will say this, could it be that the Lord hasn't increased you in preaching the gospel or going out to be invited to actually give Him, is because you haven't stewarded even the little bit of Him that you may have. And even that little bit isn't of small um, value. It is, could it be that which what He's giving you is small in your perspective, and you aren't stewarding Him the way He desires you to? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I pray that the Holy Spirit interprets this, because I don't want to confuse you or anything. I pray that this blessed you. I pray that you get Jesus out of this. I pray that you seek Him, that He becomes more real to you than the lines on your hand, that He becomes more real to you than the wind that blows. And all of that is truly done in the secret place by shutting your door and being with the Lord, and feeling when He's leaning into you, and quieting your spirit. Be still, my soul, to really hear from Him and learn of Him as He so desires you to. That you may be able to be mindful of that He imprints on your heart, of the moment that you just had with Him in your secret time, that you bring that to every conversation that you have. Does that make sense? Like, you bring Him with you everywhere. Like I want to bring my husband everywhere I go. I don't want you to leave me, but I know you have to because you have work. We're both very clingy to each other. We love being around each other, and I love that. And so I think of it like a marriage. Like, the Lord's just, He does that. He imprints on you, and it's not just a moment that you have. It's literal life that you are allowing to penetrate your heart. And so you carry that life with you everywhere you go, to be a light to all mankind.